We have unique capabilities in all of these areas. And as a consequence, we are growing very rapidly. We're the fastest growing NAS storage vendor in the world. And we're now installed in over 4,000 businesses. We do that because we have provisioning for cloud storage and integration with applications. We do that because we have pinpoint analytics to understand what's happening in cloud environment. We do that because we have outstanding benchmarks on streaming workload, on data warehouse workload, on OLTP workload, and everything in between so that you can handle a strong mixed environment. In addition to overall performance and work in the cloud, we've also spent a lot of time integrating with Oracle software. And you see a common theme on all my technologies. Build the best-of-breed technology that will run any application going in any environment. Do some extra engineering to make it work well with Oracle, right? It's a very common theme. In this particular case, with ZFS storage appliance, we've integrated hybrid columnar compression. It's the same hybrid columnar compression in Exadata, but we don't have a smart scan offload, so you don't have the same performance characteristic, but nonetheless is extremely impressive. If you're an Oracle database customer and you have the advanced compression option, if you use our storage, the database will recognize that and take advantage of an increased depth of hybrid columnar compression with some stunning results, including in some cases on the performance side, even though it's compressed, because by virtue of the fact that the data set's being so small. In administration, we integrate the pinpoint analytics with Oracle's Enterprise Manager, so you can have an end-to-end view with what's happening with not the applications level, but all the way down to storage. And we commissioned an external company to do a study on us versus the leading NAS vendor and say, okay, with these tools, what are the administration costs for common scenarios? And what they found was our implementation of administration integration is a 50% reduction in administrative costs for storage in a typical environment. So that's not my engineers, that's actually an external study that came up with, which is pretty exciting, and I think only the beginning. And then finally, we do integration, for example, like the Oracle integration with a Snap Manager. And we've done some different things here with a Snap Manager. In addition, for the database administrator to get access to snaps and clones, we've also integrated with DataGuard, so you can promote these environments to DataGuard and then protect them in production. So you have the whole life cycle of a development environment, creating snaps and clones, promoting them, and going right into DataGuard. And we believe this automates 65% of common activities that you use when you're promoting and then saving and creating protection around your Oracle database, right? These are just a few examples of some of the things that we're doing in storage around enabling cloud storage and enabling Oracle access to it. ZFS has a huge presence at Oracle. We have more than 117 petabytes in production. That's not in development, that's in production. On the public cloud side, we have 40 petabytes in production, and this is entirely shared storage over Ethernet, by the way, 10 gigabit Ethernet. So this is not what people would normally consider tier 1 storage, like you would a fiber channel SAN. This is actually how we implement tier 1, is this and Exadata for our public cloud. And the volume of transactions is simply staggering. Across the 40 petabytes, we have more than 3.2 billion transactions per hour for 25 million users. And this is in a NAS environment, so it's quite a tremendous capability. I know the 232 clusters sounds like a lot, but this was a 4-to-1 compression over our prior vendor to deliver the same level of storage capability. And so for us, it was a tremendous reduction, obviously, in management costs. I'd like to shift gears and talk about servers. And first of all, we have our own microprocessor, Spark, which we develop. And that's obviously an important part of how we develop products for Unix and mission-critical scale. But we also partner with and work very, very closely with Intel. As you heard from Diane before, I can certainly corroborate all the things that she said about the software and hardware collaboration. We build a complete systems family around Intel, and we believe that both Intel and Spark represent the best solutions for customers across a very wide range of technology, price points, and capabilities. With that, obviously, come different software choices. And many customers are facing, do I do Linux, do I do Unix, what do we want to go do? And with that, Linux, Solaris, what are you guys doing, the strategy here that Larry has is actually pretty simple. Best Linux and best Solaris. Go do that. And best Unix. And how do we build in the innovations and the technical capabilities where we take advantage of community stream development and open source and innovate in a different way around the Linux platform and add the capability. And then how do we also then innovate in core technology development in Unix while keeping the scaling and stability and reliability? What we're also doing is making sure the virtualization layers and the management tools are all coherent. So if you're a customer, you can mix and match Linux and Unix. These are not choices you have to go make, and then gain the capability above the stack to do that. Now we have many customers now doing this and being very, very successful. So last year at about this time, we announced and released Solaris 11, which was the first brand new release of Solaris in years. And Solaris only goes into the most mission critical and high scale environments, and therefore there often have to be many meetings before people decide to deploy in production. But I'm happy to say we have thousands of customers in production today. We had a faster ramp on customers going into production with Solaris 11 than we had with Solaris 10 in years past. And it's been tremendously successful. What we were aiming at with 11 was to take the kinds of capabilities that you're used to with Unix, which is extraordinary reliability and healing, fault management, security, scaling, performance, and then marry those with new features for the cloud, including a virtualized network interface, new lifecycle management tools, and better security capability. And we've been tremendously successful getting customers to understand and now deploy those new tools and use, for example, our repositories for update and the other things that we put into 11 specifically to enable the cloud lifecycle. In fact, we do have customers deploying entire platform as a service offerings as well as service offerings, all entirely built on 11. So today I'm announcing the imaginatively named Solaris 11.1 update. And with this, we've added more than 200 enhancements to Solaris 11, and I've just listed a few here, divided into categories. So first, built for the cloud, we did further work in the networking stack to enable edge virtual bridging and data center networking, so that you can actually implement an edge-to-edge or end-to-end SLA with a virtualized application running on Solaris through edge virtual bridged enabled infrastructure on the network side. We did work around network priority management and the virtualization layer, again, to make Solaris a self-contained virtual operating system that coexists and works beautifully in a complex network environment where you have to deliver a particular SLA. And you don't need additional software and capability. We did a lot of enhancements around making it a better Unix for Oracle. For example, we integrated the log manager for Oracle RAC directly into the kernel. We did work to enable SGA and other parts of database. And we've worked with the database team to actually incorporate dtrace through the stack so that your observability tools you're used to the OS, you can seamlessly apply to the database in the OS. And then finally, a range of enhancements that are classically in the generic enterprise platform features. Many security enhancements have gone into Solaris, along with more lifecycle and other capabilities. So we're very excited about this. It follows the same track we've done with Solaris, millions of hours of testing, enormous oversight on every change to ensure that we have mission-critical reliability and mission-critical deployments along with some of the new technologies. So as I mentioned before, we have our own microprocessor development with Spark, as well as partnering with Intel. Earlier this week, you heard keynotes from Toyoki-san, the representative from Fujitsu, and I'll make it clear that Spark is an open architecture. And Fujitsu has been building Spark for 20 years, and they're working on another new system for Spark today. And we actually collaborate with Fujitsu on Spark because we think an open architecture for Spark is actually a healthy thing, and we license and collaborate on Solaris. Oracle also has their own microprocessor development, and we continue that and we accelerate that with the additional investment from Larry. We released just a little less than a year ago, we started shipping T4, which was the first product that was the product that came out of the collaboration as part of Oracle with a number of enhancements, and that's turned into the fastest ramping server product in Sun's history. Note I say Sun. This is the fastest ramping server product that in Sun's history they have ever done. It's had a tremendous response to customers. And why is that? Obviously it has extreme performance and capability, but it also has a number of unique features, such as dynamic threading, which allows us to mix and match any kind of workload on the system, unlike other out-of-order processors, and handle them all on the fly. Now obviously if you try to put 20 pounds into a 5-pound bag, you're going to have a problem. If you give the whole aggregate workload too much, it won't work. But we're very comfortable with putting many different kinds of pebbles in a 5-pound bag and making it work extremely well. Our super efficient virtualization with Solaris containers and Spark OVM combined with this performance have actually caused people to become quite excited about Spark T4, which has driven the growth.